Our City Investments LLC. We're here on the 5-minute full circle rules and flow sheet and strategy system for our indicator network. Now, before we get started, I must warn you that these webinars are designed for three main purposes, really. The first one is to inform and help those customers that have purchased into our system to see some of the things firsthand, to hear it in a couple of different ways, to get a feeling that we also add a few nuances to the process of letting you know certain mentalities, letting you know certain things. If you're here again and you're here watching, or even if you're watching a second or third one here online, being here is great. And I appreciate you guys being here. I don't expect you to be here every single night, but if you want to hear some new stuff or you want to be a part or you got questions, this is the best form to do it because we have a 40-minute questions and answer prior to, and then 10, 20, 30 minutes afterwards that we could do some trades. We could, if I got time, we could do a couple of things. Secondly, this webinar is designed to tell you not only about the system, but about the company, about what we're doing, what our direction is, and why did we build what we build. And also sort of give an introduction on who we are and what we're trying to ultimately accomplish. And thirdly is to provide proof in the process that we are a real company and we do have success with one strategy, at least the 5-minute strategy that we're showing you right now, which leads into other strategies and other things that you'll see that we have proof on, that we work them and we work very hard for them. And not all companies are prepared to do that. Not all companies are prepared to show you the real line here. And we're going to talk about that by having a real conversation here soon about not only what we do, but about strategies and 5-minute strategies and 1-hour strategies and 2-hour strategies and all that kind of stuff. And what can be done. All right, so let's get started. Before we do, you must know that I'm going to be showing you some real results inside, demo results, live results, a little bit of everything. And in doing so, I want you to know that there's risk in everything that we do. The strategies, the networks, the solutions, the company, the training rooms, the trading rooms, all the lessons, everything that we do is provided for education and trade assistance only. Okay? Not any one of our systems or staff will ever trade for you and never be a bot for you. We'll never attach to your account. We're never going to ask you for your information for your account. We're never going to ask for passwords or any of that kind of stuff. So if anybody does, please inform us immediately. Also, you might see that myself or some other senior traders can do a really good job at trading and may have a really high rate of success. It does not mean that everybody else will. So all results may vary. Even some new people have higher results than I do because of the way that they do it. Okay, so let's get started. About 2 years ago, we created this concept that we had a marketing firm, and we created a concept that we wanted to work from home. And we had this marketing firm. We had a network solution called Our City Radio. We had all these great things, Our City tickets, Our City this, Our City that. And we had so many functions and things happening. We had money coming in, and I had an investor basically invest into the company. And so when they did, I didn't want the money just sitting there. So I decided I was going to diversify our income for the company and begin trading or working with a trading company to trade the money that we had. We had a couple $100,000 that we were going to get into this in a big time fashion. And so we began out small and started with 20, 30, and then got into 40. We ended up investing about $115,000 into the solution with friends and family money as well. And when doing so, the signal company that we had gotten in bed with, that we started to work with, and the broker that we were working with were all overseas. And I had done some investigating. And when I'd done the investigating, I'd seen that, at that time, there was no complaints. There was no issues. Binary options were very fluid. Everything was working. People were talking about the money they were making. It was the gravy train. It was at that point that we all began to get nervous when we went to withdraw money and the company wouldn't answer our phone calls or emails. We ended up losing about $115,000 in that little faux pas, a mistake of mine. And boy, did I pay the price. Customers left. We lost overhead funds, so we couldn't afford to do a lot of things. I had to pay back partners. I had to pay back money that we had investors on. So it was a very big mistake. And being angry, being upset, being vengeful, I began to hunt for other companies that would maybe help us trade and figure something else out. Because getting ripped off once, all right, I get that. But trying to find another company that, you would think there's got to be a legitimate company out there that'll help you trade. Guess what? Couldn't find one international binary that did. And we hunted. I mean, hunted. We tried to find overseas. We looked at signals. It was at that time that I said I got to find a way to trade them myself and figured it out myself, to trade to get the money back as fast as possible. And that's where I started going down that golden road. Maybe some of you have been there. Some of you may have started out hunting out what is the perfect signal network or strategy or education that I can get. And you'll run across companies that are from the most confusing to the most irritating. And some that you get into a room and they all boast how great they are, and they promise you the world but can't even give you the backyard. They make things so complicated. I seen one person say that you feel like you're on an island after a little while, right? So it's tough. You try to find something to work and nothing works. So being a programmer, I decided that if I was going to make something, if I was going to try to find a way to trade, I was going to have to make it myself. So I gathered up my brother, who's one of the best SEO agents that I've ever met, and I grabbed up one of our best friends, who is one of the most organized people I've ever met, Amy Kuipers, and we got ourselves into a position to be able to build this company, Dex Signals. When we decided that we were going to move forward and really start to hone the skills of the process, we knew that we just couldn't come out just with a plain signal and me trading all day long, because we tried it and it didn't work. Even though I could trade at 92%, I couldn't do it all day long, and that's what people needed. So I began to study, learn the language of MQ4 in MetaTrader 4, learning the language of C++, learning how to build software and systems to trade. Now, the good news is that I knew that I couldn't just trade out of thin air. I needed a strategy. I needed something to start with. So I started with a 5-minute binary on Nadex. We called this the double SO technique and the trader's mind. And in doing so, we did pretty good, between 80 and 89, maybe 90% sometimes. The process really taught you how to trade and trade quickly because you're on a 5-minute schedule. Now, the tough part was making it consistent. And teaching it, some people didn't like 5-minute trades. So we used it as a training tool, and that's where we left it. And as we began to build stronger and stronger systems in signals, I also started to notice my indicators worked very well as well, because we used certain ones in our algorithm, called one's a support and resistance, and the other's a trend reverse, and a few other processes for breakout time, breakout emergence. And we started using these indicators pretty strong within our own systems. When one day I was helping out one of our seniors, and I said, listen, maybe one of our support and resistance indicators that I use can help you choke up on our signals. And it was at that point that Amy and I and Brian decided that we were going to open up dexindicators.net. We wanted to be able to provide a system that you didn't want to be dependent on in just Dex Signals, but graduate to get to Dex Indicators so you can learn how to trade the market yourself. And if you were going to be dependent on something, to be dependent on your tools. And that's what Dex Indicators became. As I started to hunt out different strategies to apply our indicators to, I came back to the concept of the 5-minute trade and found that our support and resistance and our trend reverse module worked extremely well with a 5-minute circle trade. We call this the full circle because it's a little pun on words, that we started out in 5 minutes, graduated to 1 hour and 2 hours and 20 trades and all these other beautiful trades, to only be coming back to full circle to 5-minute binaries again and trading them. And now not only in training, but in actually making money as well. Now, this is not the begin all and end all of our company. We have the 5-minute trade. We have a the system also works on a 15-minute time frame for a 1 hour trade and a 30-minute time frame for a 2 hour trade for the daily Dex or for the dailies that are on Nadex. As we began to test the strategies out and work with the strategies, we've also built a strategy tester system. And when I first tested the 5-minute strategy against the platform, I was busting out over 97%. And why is that so important? Well, just about every strategy we've ever tested in the past never yielded anything past 40% to 60% success rate consistently over a long period of time. Whereas the 5-minute strategy, when used correctly, when used at the proper pip margins, was yielding out anything over 85 to 95% depending on the actual asset. Now, on Nadex, there's only 4 assets they use in their Nadex 5-minute binaries. So we're only going to be using the AUD USD, Euro USD, USD JPY, and Euro JPY. No. Euro, British Gold Pound USD, Euro USD, USD JPY. Sorry, I almost forgot we're not using Euro JPY. But the cool thing is that when you get this system down, you can graduate to the 15-minute time frame for the 1 hour, and you can use all 10 pairs, which is amazing, by the way. Now, as we built our strategy out, the first thing that we knew that we had to set rules that were pretty strong. And we knew right away the biggest rule that we could make was no news trading. 1/2 hour prior to and 1/2 hour after, do not trade this 5-minute strategy. That's the biggest rule. If you break that rule, if you push it close, you have a very big chance of winning a majority of the trades you put on during that time period. Now, we also knew that if we were going to be trading on the M1 chart, that each one of the bars was a 1-minute time frame. And over a period of time, of course, if we start out on the 1 minute, there's a 2nd minute, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and 0-minute time frame. And I'll show you what I mean in there. So the 1-minute time frame, or 1-minute bar referred to it, is a 1 minute, an 11, a 21, a 31, a 41, and you should be getting it by now. A 2 minute is 2, 12, 22, and so on. So when we say that when an arrow appears on the 3 or 4 minute, or the 8 or 9 minute, that you're going to be trading the very next 5-minute trade. So that trade would start here. This trade here would start over here for the 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on. So we needed to make this rule because we knew that in the moment that the trend reverse system kicked out an arrow like this for a sell, that on this 4-minute or 3 minutes bar, you had a good opportunity for that direction to start, because it would give us a arrow when the strength of the trend was weakening and that reverse was about to hit out. Now, our trend reverse system also has another priority system in there that I won't mention because it kind of makes it different than everybody else's stuff that's out there. But I've tweaked it enough now to give us even more accurate ability to see that when that trend is actually falling, and also to give us a stronger indication of that direction. Okay. It also will provide a reverse signal. If you are getting in on this buy, it would give you a reverse signal the opposite direction to tell you to either get out or get into an opposite trade. Right. So pretty powerful. Now, when this signal comes out at that arrow, on the actual arrow itself, the tip of the arrow can be used to gather the price, because you're either going to go to the SR level or the tip of the arrow. If you want a little bit more risk, you can go to the tip of the arrow to get a better price, but nothing more than that. Now, the reason why we have done this is that we know that our SR, or support or resistance levels, and that indicator that we have is very powerful. And that power that we have with that is really about the psychological levels of a support and resistance system. Our support and resistance indicator does a very good job at honing in on those levels. Now, when the arrow comes out, we use that level, okay, to help us speculate where the market will not come back to. So if this arrow comes out for a sell, we can use the tip of the arrow or the SR level as that strike price that is on Nadex. And I'll show you that here in a minute. Now, one thing we have to do until we get the API from Nadex is that we have to add 2 pips or a pip and a half higher than the tip or the SR, whichever one you're going with, in order to adjust for the indicative price that's on Nadex. And you'll hear about that in the training. Now, Nadex uses a average price of spot Forex pricing of the last 15 or 25, I think it's 25 to 15 trades, and they take out the middle and average them out, and it gives us a higher rate of 1.5 to 2 pips. On a buy signal, it's the opposite. We actually have the availability that when the arrow comes out to go from the tip or the SR, and we don't have to add anything on because it's already going to be higher. So on a buy signal, you have a pretty good opportunity if you're not pushing it in, if you're not trying to squeeze it in a little on to get a better price, to get a very good price on Nadex market price and do some pretty good deals and get some pretty good contract prices. Now, when the signal comes out, it's never going to come out on what we refer to as the current bar. Okay. Now, I want you to know that this is not called back painting in this particular case, because I could actually make it come out on the bar that it's supposed to come out on, or that it triggers it. But I wanted it to be on the bar that I wanted you to go to the SR level for. Also, if I put this arrow on this bar, that arrow is going to appear right around in here. And so that's a different strike level than it is when I use it on the proper bar that it's supposed to be on. Now, when does it come out? It comes out 1 minute after, or it comes at the end of the, so here's where the bar comes at 3. The 3 bar arrow will show up at the end of the 4th minute, or the 4 bar, or the beginning of the 5, 6 or half a dozen. So when this happens, you're going to use the bar that has the arrow on it to go from that level to grab that price for the strike price. And if there is, remember, this is not very far away. This is only about a pip and a half from that direction, so it's not very far. So you have a great opportunity to get in some really good trades in an average of $20 to $30 per contract at that point. So, but again, all results may vary. Same thing on the buy. You can come from the tip, and you can get pretty good prices in. In this particular one, if you came from the tip, if this was the 8 or the 9 or 3 to 4, depending on what it is, you were very close to that opportunity, right? Unless you came from the SR level. So there's a lot of opportunity to be able to utilize various different support levels to get yourself better pricing, but also to know where the price is going to end up. All right. Enough of the graphics. Let me take you over so you can have a look at the actual thing in action. Oh, give me 1 second. I had a problem with this earlier. We're going to try to get this share your screen process to work. When I start open tools that I have for, like, Photoshop and a whole bunch of other things, some things gets a little bit wacky. So let me see if I can pull this up. Yep, there it is. It's good. All right. All right. So mostly when I begin to trade, I start out by, and I show you how to do this inside, to set yourself up in a 4-square process on MetaTrader. Now, MetaTrader, of course, is a charting system. And inside all of the systems in there, I show you how to operate and work all of this process. I make sure that each one of my 4 squares has the chart set up with the 2 indicators on it. I'll show you what those are right here. The 2 indicators are from DexIndicators.net. Okay, very simply set up. And that is it. I really don't have anything else. This is a very simple and easy to read chart. Simple arrow, simple support and resistance lines, and all made to be very easy to use, right? So the other part of the process is that when I begin to trade, I am pulling my main system out, and also Nadex. I'll pull it out to the side so I can trade it very easily and just flip back and forth. In fact, let me start up Nadex here real quick so I can show you some of the in case we get a signal, I can buy in and show you live. We also do have a lot of live trading happening on the on our YouTube channel. So right on dexindicators.net, there is a live YouTube channel that has a lot of the videos in there for 5-minute binary trading. And so that's simply in there. So on Nadex, here's my demo account right now. On Nadex, under the 5-minute, under Forex, did I turn that over? Yeah, I did. Okay. Is these three. Now, in the system for 5-minute binaries, a 5-minute binary will happen, of course, every 5 minutes. And it happens 12 times an hour. Now, they used to only have them 11 times an hour. In the last 55, on the last 55, they would, stop having a availability. But I think it caused too much confusion for people. Now, when you first get the signal, you're going to pop over. You're going to adjust your rate. You're going to look for, as I come over, I'm going to have my crosshair on board, and I'm going to be looking for the 3 or the 8 or the 9. See, something like this right here. See, so on this particular chart, the British Gold Pound M1 chart, as long as there's no news happening right now, let me see. 1745 is 545, 20 minutes of GPY, nothing really happening right now. So I'm going to come over to the tip, but there's a SR level right above it, so I'm going to hit that one. 1.2226 British Gold Pound USD. 2226. Well, it looks like we won't be able to get into this one. On this particular one, look how far it dropped down, and it got sucked back up again within that process. So this created a 5 or 6 pip draw by the time this came out, this actual bar came out. It was a little bit too far on this particular. So let's go and have a look to see if there's anything else. Let me reset my profile here. Okay, there we go. There's another one on the 8s, Audi USD. I'm going to use the tip of the arrow, 76.41. Again, I'm pretty far into the trade already, so I'm not going to be able to get into these because I came to it late. So if I sit down, 76.41, I really want to have that availability to trade it. Okay, so on something like this, even though that I got 2 minutes left, I wouldn't get in. If I did have something, I probably wouldn't get in at that point. You are not waiting to be able to trade a set of trades 20 or 30 times an hour, right? You're not trying to do 50 trades an hour. What you're waiting for with this strategy and this system is perfection, right? You're waiting for as close to perfection as possible. Because one of the things that we have within our system, and what we have really started to tout, was that the concept and equation of C plus V equals G is your saving grace. And what this means is that we're looking for consistency plus volume will equal our goal. The most important letter here is consistency. So if we can find the trades that consistently find us a win, a dash in that win column, and we begin to notice how those work, only having 4 to, I say, 6 trades a day, and even with a very low bank account or very low balance, can yield you out a pretty good living. One that can reach a goal for you. How do you make more money? Well, if you have a bigger balance, you can add more volume to it in the form of contracts. And adding more contracts onto a deal is better than adding more trades into the process. Now, why do I have you trade 5 minutes? Well, we already know that you could do about 12 per hour, right? If you were to do that. But you times that by 4, and there's 48 opportunities in that process of that hour, right? 4 times 12. Will you trade 48 times an hour? No, there's no way you can actually probably get into all four at the same time. Would they all give you the signal and all that? You could guess on everyone, but really it's not about that. You have to strip away, if you're going to follow a strategy, you got to strip away all that other BS that you hear out there and that you see. You have to begin to find and get the pace of the process. Now, the first thing we tell you to do when you start this strategy is we want you to trade it 100 times in demo. And this first 100 that you start with is going to equal your success rate, right? And your success rate, you don't really care about in this first 100. But it will help you gauge how much you need to focus on direction, getting in and out, learning how to scalp. You're going to learn about working orders. You're going to learn how to get in and out of the system. You're going to learn about scalping at this point, right? If you're beginning to train in a sport, what is the first thing you do? In any sport, you practice. If you're going to play golf, how many golfers are here? How many times you go into the driving range? You didn't go one day and just say, I think I want to go play golf at the PGA. Let me go see if they'll let me in and just, I've never hit a ball. Let me go try. And that's what some of you do with your money. You go live at things. Remember, we're having real conversations tonight. I personally trained a lot with live money. It hurts. Because I wish I'd had some of that money now. It'd be a hell of a lot richer. Because my ROI would be a hell of a lot different. So once you get to those 100 trades, your next 100 trades that you do will begin to do your actual success rate. And your actual success rate of this 100, because your first 100 you could do in 3 days. You could do in 4 days. Okay? Because you really train, you could trade 2 or 3 times, 4 times. You could trade as much as you want. Let me tell you, you could trade as much as you want as long as you're following the rules in that first 100. But your second 100, you better be so picky. Because the thing you're looking for in that second 100 trades is consistency. Remember, right? Because once you find consistency, what do you get to add next? Volume. And this equation right here is what's going to make you successful. Nothing else. Throw all those other strategies out the door, even the 5-minute strategies I'm telling you right now. You wanted real conversation, you've got real conversation. We know, some of you know about the clock on the wall strategy, right? Go to the site, go to Nadex, pick an asset and trade, right, at 3 o'clock. Okay. You trade it on a sell at 3 o'clock, and then all of a sudden you find yourself doing that every day. You're doing exactly at 3 o'clock. You have a win-loss ratio, right? Any strategy can work for you if you follow the rules consistently and give yourself a proper success rate and actual ASR, which then will return on a return on investment. And if your ROI, say, is $100 when you've done 20 trades, 30 trades, how many 20, 30 trade blocks to get to 100 do you need to make the money that you need to get to? You get where I'm going with this? So if you consistently are winning 98, 95%, 90% out of 100 trades, what will that yield you? And this is what your ASR is. This is what your actual success rate needs to find out for you. You're only going to get there by trading it consistently. Your ASR can't be figured out with 10 trades or 5 trades or 2 trades. It has to be figured out over a longer period of time. Now, some of you that are here have been here for a while. And anybody who's new, that it hasn't bought into the system yet or bought into the company yet, I only want to hear from you at the moment in the chat room. If I could show you, and just by saying the word yes in there, okay, if you're new and you haven't bought in, if I could show you a way to become consistent, also help you find out what your goal is, the only thing that you have to do in the middle then is add the volume. And I could show you how to do this in 1 month. Would that be something you would buy into? Would that be something that you would say would be a success for you? You can write that in the chat room as yes, if it would be a success. If not, just say no. Some of you may want it faster, 2 weeks. The idea here is, folks, is that if you are here to follow a strategy, if you came here to follow a 5-minute strategy and you're like, well, I need to put bread on my table. Joe Chapman says, yes, you're right. I need to put bread on my table tonight. I don't have rent money for next week. This isn't for you. What will it take for you to get into this program and make it happen? Well, our site, the amount for the actual process itself, okay, your first month's going to be $97. Okay, I'm going to give you a coupon at the end for $50 off. It's regularly $147 a month. I'm going to give you a coupon that's going to knock $50 off your first month because I want you to have an opportunity to make it work. I'm not here for this, right? I'm not here for your $97. I truly am here for your success. Because this $97 only runs the company. What I'm here to do is to help those people become successful. Because if I can get you to become successful, there is going to be a relationship there, not only just with myself for you, but many, 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 many other investors and other people that know how to make money. If I teach 1,000 people how to make money, and I don't mean just make money like, go out and make a couple bucks and pay your rent. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. Wouldn't it be cool that if we wanted to build something that we could go to 1,000 people and say, listen, we helped you learn how to make money. Come invest in our process and invest into this particular solution we're making. So I'm not here for the 97. I'm here for you for the future, for the long term. And that takes a lot of work. But I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to work with you through that process to help you figure out what it is that you need to do to become successful. I am trying to create a network and a solution to help as many people as possible because this industry needs a safe area. How many people here, as an answer from anybody, has been hurt with this industry? I'll join you in there. I lost everything. I lost friends. I lost family. I lost respect. I found myself in a dark, dark place. Cost me, not just money. There's no measure of that. Money can be replaced. But people lost faith in me. So I swore that I'd get revenge at first. But then the words of my grandfather kept on sticking in my head. The best revenge is living well. And for me, living well meant building and moving forward and building and finding what works and what doesn't work. And that's where I'm at right now. I've trained over 1,000 members, and there's been at least maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people have gone through our Dex Signal system and networks. We have about 800 people that are on board, and we're looking to get ourselves into the thousands to help as many people as possible. Our indicators and indicators.net, or dexindicators.net, is really designed around making systems to be able to help train you. So we do have Dex signals, right? That's more about giving you a signal, giving you some training, showing you how the signals read. It's the basic of basic foundation, building your foundation up first, right? So that's Dex signals, building your foundation. Once you build your foundation, then you build out your core. This is where we get the, the entire engineering of this platform now becomes more about your experience and what you want it to become. So now you can add Dex indicators. There's other things that we have too to help you work from home. I give you consults. There's a tremendous amount of stuff inside, and I'll show you what some of that is right now. Just give me 1 second. Get over to there. And there we go. It's my ugly mug. Okay. So basically, when you become, and the homepage is changing here soon, so please bear with me. When you first buy in, you get in. Even when you become a free member, you get in the back office, and here's what that looks like right now. In the back office, even for your free members, there is a spot that you can actually check out the previous webinars. Okay, so check those out if you haven't. For new people, when you buy in, just even when you get in for the free side, but when you buy in, you get access to a Trader's Mind series that I was first speaking about. These are the 5-minute trades with the double stochastic that teach you how to trade on Nadex. Okay, and without even indicators, that were the 2 indicators that are free on MetaTrader. So there's a free strategy right there. Secondly, there's MetaTrader Mayhem. If you don't know anything about MetaTrader, you jump in here, you learn everything you need to know to trade our system. You don't know anything about Nadex? Don't worry about it. We got you covered. Right here is the Nadex Ninja, and this has a lot of information in here about how to open up working orders, how to fill the statements, how to work bids, offers, and risk, and selling tickets, and all that kind of stuff that you need. Still don't have enough information? Even if you just paid the $97 for that, it's worth it. But you also get a chance to book a consult. You can get as many of these as you need, as long as you're respectful with them. And we make time on them. Sometimes even I have to kind of rewrite them a little. Also on the site, there's the online section for your chat room, which you can talk to somebody live at that point. Also, there's a phone number under the Contact Us section, which are pretty powerful. All right. The indicators that you get are here on this page. There's 6 primary ones. There's about 5 more that are coming. The trend reverse and the Dex support and resistance. These are our fundamental ones that we use for our strategy. Let me pull the strategy up so you can see it. There's the 5-minute full circle. Now remember, I told you that there was a 15-minute 1-hour strategy we call the intraday strategy, which is also now available for training. Each one of our systems all the way down have a full training page and explanation page on what it is. And also has a, under the strategy results, there's a breakdown of the customers that are having the strategy and working the strategy. There is a proof list and a playlist, if you will, proof playlist right here that shows you the trades being made in live capacity. Okay, so pretty powerful. There is so much that's available, but you're not just buying in for today. If you become a Dex Indicators member, you're buying in for everything that we build from this point on. And we have quite to build. Pretty soon, we'll have permission now. We have the API. We'll have permission as soon as we can start the API to start out our process to build what we refer to as the 5-minute, because there'll be a mainline system that will have its own chart platform on Dex Indicators. It'll have its own chart that will apply our indicators to automatically. You don't even need a MetaTrader. So you won't even need a MetaTrader 4. Okay, but you'll have your own chart system in here that you'll be able to apply. The hours will show up. It'll give you a price to get into. It'll show you everything. We're not building a bot, but we're building this to where you can flip between a 5-minute and a 1 hour and a daily strategy in that process. So this is all a web-based platform that you'll have right on Dex Indicator. Pretty cool, right? And if you're a Dex Indicator member, by the time this comes out, you get it for free, right? Because you've earned it. Because you're one of the ones that help pay for it. New people that come on are going to have to pay $147 extra for it. Yeah. And plus, it's worth it. It really is. Because this program, you can get on your phone, you can get on your tablet. And if you have the Nadex application as well on your phone, it's just a switch between two programs. So when is all this coming out? It's coming out over the next 2 months. All really depends on how many people we get in from this point on. We're trying to get right now I think we're at like 50 something people in Dex Indicators. So we're trying to get to at least 100 to start that process out. But we've already started with most of it. So there's great opportunity for you. So you're not just buying into this part of the process. You're buying into the solutions that Dex Indicator hasn't built yet. And everything you get into now will be included in the future. So when there's 20 different things in this process and you have that opportunity to use them all, you also have an availability to get discounts for Dex Signals, learn some of the systems over there if you haven't already. Okay, so let's talk about some of the results too. And I wanted to kind of show you some of the results and stuff that we're doing and working with. But I want you to remember that however many you may think it needs to be to win, you'll never get to 100%. And even if you are getting to 95% or 96%, okay, it's never about a single block of time. Okay, you're not about, oh, I just did 10 and I lost one, so I'm at 90%. It's not about that. Apply this to the groups of 100. That's it. That's all I got to tell you. Just apply it to the groups of 100. And that's your ASR. So if I go to a page and on that page, you see 2 or 3 losses, 3 or 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of, or 4 out of 21, you know, that doesn't seem like it's a super huge. So it's at 21 divided by 25. It's 84%. That's at the time after 21 trades, right? It doesn't mean I'm going to have 84% consistently all the way through it, right? For myself of trading from yesterday to today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if I trade from that 9 and I lost 1, right? Doesn't seem like that's a great. So 9 divided by 10, right? Easy, 90%. But again, I'm just starting out on this new batch of 100. But even though I lost the 1, I made $624. Does that make sense? Okay. There's other people too. I mean, there's plenty of other people. There's Paul. He's in there doing very well. Right? You get times, you learn lessons. He's in his first 100 still, so that's why he only has 1 here. So remember, the first one doesn't make, there's personal mistakes in there. There's, scalps. There's, didn't notice I got taken out, got in the wrong direction, made mistake. So there are mistakes that happen, right? But he's keeping a journal to tell himself, hey, I made a mistake, or no, I did it right and it just failed, and here's what they all are. And it's powerful. 71 and 10, right? So 71 divided by 81. It's 87.6%. But again, he could do the next 13 in a row and he'd be at 90%. Not at 13, 20 something. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, 19. Do 19 trades in a row and he'd be 90%. Right? So there's a process that when you're looking to find a true strategy is it workable? Is it tweakable? Can you add filters to it? Can you follow those filters? Can you make them work? Also keep in mind, all these trades are done in some of these people's first batch. One person was in their second batch of 100. But every single person I started training with this process, I start to teach them one thing, is that your first 100 could take you a couple of days. Your next 100 will take you, maybe a week to 2 weeks. Your next 100, this should be a couple of months, really, because you're hunting. By this time, you've perfected the craft of getting in and out. And now this 100 in batches should take you about a month to do from this 100. If you did 4 a day, 5 a day, but because you've gotten it so consistent, you're trading 5 contracts times about $22 per profit per contract, right? So you're winning about $100 per trade. Okay. So you're pulling in about $500 a day at that point. You're trading 20 days a month. You see where that's going? Right? So there's so much opportunity for you. And these kind of things that we're talking about right now, this is what we help you with. This is what we show you. This is how we help you get to that point. Most of you have never had this before. Has anybody ever had a company that has taken personal responsibility and wants to talk to you and get you into a process and make something happen like this? If there are, congratulations to them, because they're doing something out there that can change the world. This industry needs people like this to be taking responsibility for others who have not learned it, that have not figured that part out. And even though that some of you said, no, there isn't one that you have found, well, neither have I. I hope there is. I hope one day there is. Because people can't do it. How come we can do it? Because I keep hearing this. It's too much money. It's too much time. People are idiots. One, you got to have the patience of a rock, man. I not always have the best patience, but I kind of can be empathic a little bit. I can empathize with people because I've been exactly where you are. I may not be you, but I'm like you. Because you're here in a room on 7:47 Eastern time right now. Listen to some dude talk about trading. And you want something more. Or maybe you're here because I've talked to you already. And these talks that we have at night inspire you, empower you, maybe push you, maybe make you more disciplined, maybe make you understand that the world of trading doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be overbearing. It doesn't have to be a loss. It could be fun. It could be perspiring. It could be profitable for you. Maybe that's what you've done. Maybe you found that. But I never want to, I'm not naive or arrogant enough to say that I'm the only company in the world that can do this. Anybody could do it if they really wanted to. That's what separates me from everybody. I really want a company out there to do it. They don't want to. Dan, it's scary as hell. I've spent $200,000 of my own money. Add the 115 and I lost. I'm well over $300,000 in the hole. Well, it was. Learn to become a master trader doing all this, you make money. And not 1 cent of it came from Dex. But why don't I show you that? Why don't I fan $100 bills in front of you? Because I don't need to do any of that. I'm not insecure about how much money I've made. I own 2 homes. I have some nice cars. I can go anywhere I want. I'm successful. But I've noticed some of those companies out there, won't say anybody's name, who puts into these groups all these draw slips that they have and There's no proof until you show me you're pulling money out. I don't care. I really don't. My signals are successful. I'm successful. I work hard and I help people. I'm not here just about trading. I wasn't born a trader. I didn't go to school for trading. I built this because I needed to make it something better for other people that were just like me. So hopefully some of you are like that. I'm also looking for people to help us build the company as well. Now, for those that are here that are brand new, that you're getting tired of hearing my voice now, and my voice is getting hoarse. But for those of you that are brand new, if you're wanting to join on and be a part of it, I implore you to do so. Not just because I'm trying to get money out of you, okay? And I say not just because I am trying to get money out of you. Every dollar that you spend with us is another dollar that we can build even a better system. And I'm trying to get to that 100 people in Dex Indicators. Help us get there. I can give you a break of the first month off, put Dex Save 50 in the coupon code there, and it'll knock $50 off. Maybe you can't afford the 97. Hit up the chat room that's on the system. Talk to us. We want to help you. If you're really sincere about making this a business for yourself, if you're really sincere about making it successful, all right, stand up, pay for your tools, and make them happen first off. But if you can't, there's something else there. Maybe you need just a hand. We don't give charity, but what we can do is work out some deals back and forth. Make things, do payments, do whatever, right? It's not that much anyway. It's only $97. If you can afford it, do it. If you can't, ask yourself if this is the right industry. Ask yourself if, some of you got hurt so bad that you can't afford it, but do you want to make this happen? I'm willing to listen to that story and work with you. So make sure that you don't make the mistake by just turning away. Every single one of you right now can go to Dex Indicators and help us out, even in the least, by going to the YouTube channel and liking and subscribing to the network. Watch the videos that come over. Every single video that I have with Dex Indicators will be a public video. I will put that information. Every single one is a public video. There are no unlisted videos that are on Dex Indicators. Now, Dex Signal is a whole other thing because there's priority stuff with the trading that we do. But with Dex Indicators, not one. Every single one is public. And I do that because I'm looking to change the world with as many people as possible. And in order to do so, I need to put some skin in the game. I've put a lot of skin in the game so far. So what I'm asking from all of you is if you could help us out by subscribing, I'd appreciate it. And if you do buy in, if you do come over, use the Dex Save 50 and save yourself a couple of bucks while you're started. Also, I don't know if you've seen in there, there is the booking button that's on there, right? Hit that book a consult, and get some time spent with me. Trust me, you want to pick my brain because you want to ask a ton of questions. Because I am successful at what I do. I've been working at home now for close to 9 years. In 2 more days, it'll be for 9 years. How many people do you know has been working at home for 9 years? Maybe some of you have. And if you had a chance to pick that person's brain on what did they do to get there and how they do it and how they shut the other processes out and how they made their office, you should be there. Use that information. I'm offering it. All right, at this time, I'm going to stop the recording. I want to say thank you to all those that are watching after the fact. I wish to see you inside. Everybody else that's in the chat room, hang out with us because we have a questions and answer phase. So if you have questions and things that you need to bring out, please start writing in chat right now. Form your questions. Get ready. For everybody else, I appreciate you taking time and hitting on the archive and checking us out. If you bought in, great. If you haven't, remember, use the Dex Save 50, okay? Take responsibility for your action and what you want to happen with your life. That's the only thing that's going to change for you. You just have to do it. Sorry, Nike. I had to steal it. All right, everybody. Have a great night. I'm Max Farrell. This is DexIndicators.net. Hope to see you inside. Trade well.